That's right. We have a little breaking news. Although now it appears they've been holding it from us, and it's been broken news behind the scenes for a while. Tom Pelissero, NFL Network. Four-time NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers informed the Steelers that he will fly to Pittsburgh tomorrow, that's Friday, and sign before next week's minicamp, sources tell the insiders, which Tom Pelissero is a part of. He continues in a follow-up tweet that contract parameters have been in place for months. Rodgers has said publicly he told teams that he'll play for $20 million, and the sides need to finalize the contract. Once he signs, he's expected to be on the field when minicamp begins Tuesday. You know what this is, right?
What is it?
Mike Tomlin. And by the way, I think Mike Tomlin is, like, let me get my praise out of the way because I've covered him for a long time, and I think he's an unbelievable football coach. I'm not sure there's 2 or 3 coaches in the league I would take before picking Mike Tomlin to run my franchise. He can't do, like, there are some coaches that just can't rebuild. There are some, the temptation to chase the playoffs, even if you aren't really a title contender, is too strong. Chasing 9 wins is too strong rather than letting it build for something else. The Steelers have been right in that middle for so long. Right, where they're too good to have a high draft pick or too good to consider, selling veterans at the deadline and kind of starting over, but they're not good enough to really be in the mix for a Super Bowl. They're just somewhere in that bubble, making the postseason and out the first weekend area. And, I mean, right now, right, because he's not going to sign till tomorrow. They don't have a quarterback that was going to be able to. Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, like that. None of those guys were going to be able to get them to a place of competitiveness. Aaron Rodgers will do that. Aaron Rodgers of 5-6 years ago might have been able to drag part of that offense to contenderdom. 41-year-old Rodgers, which is what he is, and he'll be in his 21st NFL season. Probably you're looking at 8 or 9 wins. Probably you're looking at, the 17th pick in the draft, the 20th pick in the draft, the 14th pick in the draft. Probably looking at just continuing to be right there. No matter how bad your roster is, if you give Mike Tomlin 1 or 2 veterans he can trust, if you give him Aaron Rodgers, he's going to find a way to 9 wins. He's not going to find a way to 12 or 14. He's not going to find a way to a bye. He'll find a way to make the playoffs. And we'll have that same conversation. And I'm saying this as a compliment to Mike Tomlin. This is why coaches and front offices need to be separate. Because the front office is the one that thinks big picture, next 10 years. Coach needs to think about, I need to win this year. This is I need to win this year move for a team that probably should be entertaining selling anyone that's not a part of your core for the next 5 years. The DK Metcalf move was similar. It's like, really? Metcalf? I mean, obviously he's better with Aaron Rodgers, but what do you do? Boost you a win? All right, sweet. You go from 7 to 8. Now Rodgers takes you from 8 to 9. Maybe from 10 would be, I think, the top end of this roster, and that's not given, like, you're still right there in the treadmill of mediocrity. The crazy part is, it should be every year you are getting better or getting worse, and the Steelers just have been stagnant. And, by the way, you have the Ravens. You have I know the Bengals weren't great defensively last year, but if they put together a 20th ranked defense in the league with that offense, with Burrow and Chase and Higgins and everybody else, they're going to be really tough. I know the Browns are absolute stinkers. There's 2 of your wins. Congratulations. You're a fourth of the way to the 8 you'll get on the season. You'll finish 3rd in the division. You'll be the wild card. You'll keep up Mike Tomlin's streak of making the postseason. Everyone will celebrate that for a moment, and then you'll go right back to, I don't think we're good enough to win a Super Bowl, because you're not, but you're kicking it down the road. There has to be to use better grammar. There absolutely has to be someone in the room that has the power to fight back against the coach that wants to do everything they can to win right now to say, we can't win a Super Bowl this year. Let's do everything we can to potentially win a Super Bowl the next year or the year after. Not saying you're not trying to win, because that takes away all of your principles, right? What's important now, go win, all those things. But let me handle the roster, because a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers doesn't get the Steelers anywhere closer to a Super Bowl.
Well, let alone a Super Bowl. How about just a playoff win? The Steelers' last playoff win was in the 2017 divisional round against a pre-Mahomes Kansas City team. And since then, they have lost 6 straight playoff games.
But they've made it every year. It's getting there. The winning record streak, right? They're making it. It's impressive. I would love to have Mike Tomlin being my head coach. I would just make sure I hired a GM that was equally as hard-headed, and hard-headed being a compliment in this case.